Hello everybody, welcome. So I'm going to do a reading tonight for the masculine and the feminine energy and also look at where the bond is right now. So I'm burning some dragon's blood just to invite in the energies, to amplify the energies so we get some really powerful messages tonight, and also to clear the space, inviting in the elemental beings that are the dragons to purify this energy and also to help us get into the depths of things. So what happened was, let me just preface by saying that today I did a reading for all of you out on the Red Rocks in Sedona, which I do sometimes. And then I realized that I wasn't recording. It was a reading where I wasn't planning on reading for the masculine and feminine energies, but that's what came out. So I have a basis from that reading, what I saw in that reading. It didn't record, but you know, c'est la vie. That's the way it goes sometimes, and I'm totally fine with that. It just meant that those weren't exactly the messages, but I have that base. So I wanted to look at these energies tonight, and it feels better, because the other thing that was happening was I was out on the trail here in Sedona, and I found this quiet spot where there was actually a lot of sand, like red sand. And it was really beautiful, and I had like a little blanket and everything, but it was really hot, so I was like sweating a lot. But there were these ants that were there. So there's something with the ants right now. And I rarely get bit by bugs, like mosquitoes bite me or get me in the mosquito months, but I don't really, and I don't have a reaction really. Like I'm not allergic to bees, I'm not allergic to ants. So it was kind of weird. Like this one ant just like bit me, and then there were all these other ants around. So maybe that's why, and I don't even know how the lighting was. So it feels like now is the time. So let's just invite in the energies, the divine with love and light. I have a great variety of decks to use from. So we're going to use a lot of Oracle, but for the tarot portion, I'm going to use my very powerful Rider-Waite. And, and I had to like really wipe these off because they had a lot of the sand on them. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Sedona, I'm coming to you from West Sedona. I live just underneath Thunder Mountain, which is one of the most powerful vortexes in the world. It's like in the top 10. And these decks, these two decks, this is Art Through the Starstream Oracle, really powerful deck. They were kind of coated with some of the sand. And with our red rock here in Sedona, it's filled with minerals, and one of them is quartz crystal. So these are really amplified right now. The dragon's blood is kind of working its magic too. So welcome everybody. We could call this a twin flame reading, but I'm not going to. This is going to be divine masculine, divine feminine. This is going to be a check-in. So straight up, it may not resonate for you specifically. So if it's not your message, it's not your message. Never give up your power to a reading or to a reader. Use your own highest intuition and guidance. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And we could call this sacred union, holy union, just what's going on with the feminines, what's going on with the masculines. I'm going to really do my best here to get you some good information, and then we'll look at the bonding energy. So I also pulled out the Twin Flame Ascension Take Me Home Oracle deck. This is a great deck, and it can be used in any reading. It doesn't just have to be for like twin flame, soulmate connection, love relationships. It's really a healing deck, and it's really powerful and beautiful. I also pulled out the Hermetic Tarot, which is an interesting deck because we are in Gemini season. So that's Hermes, Hermeticism, the light and the shadow, looking at the polarity, masculine, feminine, day and night, sun and moon, all of that, opposites. And then I also pulled out the True Love reading cards. So these are really beautiful. They've got beautiful messages. And what else? I also have the White Light Oracle by Alana Fairchild. So I think we'll finish with one of these. These are, she utilizes the solfeggio frequencies for these. So this will be just the last card out for healing, for kind of like advice. And yeah, so, oh, and also I pulled out a deck of playing cards. So this is a Sedona deck of playing cards. And I pulled these out because I wanted to see maybe like what vortices wanted to come out wanted to come out in this reading, so that might just be for fun. And then I was thinking that we would also get some charms. So I have some charms, and we'll get some charms as well. So thank you for being here. Welcome back if you're returning, and if you're just finding this channel, welcome. So let's invite in the divine with love and light and the archangels at the four corners of the world. And I would like to invite in the galactics of the highest love and light to join us, especially because we're using art through the Starstream Oracle, and the elements, elemental beings. So let's invite in the elemental beings to join us as well. Okay, so let's look at the masculine first. Then we'll look at the feminine, and then we will look at the bond, and we'll just keep building on these energies. So show me masculine's current energy. It says create pathways, and we're getting Ellen of the Ways. So this is kind of an elven, this is elven energy, or Ellen. So she was an elemental being herself. And we're seeing the stag, and the stag is very masculine. So Ellen of the Ways coming in for the masculine, create pathways. And there's a bird here. It almost looks to me like an etheric phoenix. So there's something about, you know, a phoenix moment, which always comes during like a death, right? A death of something. The phoenix energy we associate with Scorpio, which is associated with death. And what's interesting to me, and this might even not be a Scorpio, a phoenix, but that's what I'm seeing it as. It's etheric. So, and it's pouring in like kind of codes, and it almost looks like DNA, like the double helix there. And also the DNA inside of, you know, a Kundalini. So it's almost like it's actually it's descending upon the masculine right now for them to create pathways from within themselves. So I'm actually seeing this as a pathway from within themselves that starts like at the base of the spine. That's what they're showing me. So there may be some painful things right now. And if you're a masculine watching this, welcome. You know, that are happening to activate the masculine energy and to initiate maybe an up leveling or some kind of a change with the stag there. You know, that's always talking. And is that even a stag? Oh, sorry, we got a jumper. I feel like that's a stag. You know, that always talks about male leadership and a masculine being in its power, but being guided by the principle of the feminine. And you can see that she has the antlers too. And behind them is the Tor at Glastonbury. So the Glastonbury and the Tor in that area is the heart chakra of the world. So it's related to the divine feminine because that is the heart chakra of the world. So they're being asked to create new pathways or create the pathways. And I feel it's a door to within. That's happening here. And they're also getting the angel of the chalice well. So they're getting more of the heart chakra of the world, of Gaia energy. It says, speak your truth, express yourself. The masculine energy is being called to talk, to speak, to express from a very authentic place. And there's an angel there. The chalice well, again, is a feminine energy. The chalice is feminine, that's the Holy Grail, but the chalice well at Glastonbury, if any of you have been there, please let me know. That is definitely a dream place for me. I will be going there at some point. And the chalice well restores life, really. It restores life, it restores hope, it brings a rebirth. And we're actually seeing a lion here. So that's linked to Leo, and currently we have Mars moving through Leo. Speak your truth and express yourself and create pathways. And let's get one more for them. It's a number 42 with creating the pathways, which is linked to a 6. And then a number 18, which is a 9, about a completion of some cycle. 9s are about completion of a cycle, goes back to the Hermit. So I feel like it's a time for them to connect with their own feminine energy, but also just with the feminine energy in general. And that's why I think the lion is there with the chalice well, because that represents the solar energy. The lion represents the solar energy of the sun. And this is very orange and sort of like red and earthy, the root chakra, and then moving up to the sacral chakra, which is there. You know, it is the womb of creation, the sacral, but it's emotional. And then the chalice well is water, so that's more emotion. And I'm feeling that it's a pathway that starts from their root chakra, and it's activated by this kind of etheric bird here, but I'm really seeing that as a phoenix. And what I was saying about the phoenix being linked to Scorpio, what's interesting is that I actually see the whole process of Scorpio as the death, as the transformation, as the releasing, the shedding of old skin. But it's like, you know, that Scorpio energy is so deep because it's what has been occulted, what has been hidden, what has been repressed. And it's when Scorpio completes at 29 degrees Scorpio and then turns into 0 degrees Sagittarius is when the phoenix rises. So I see like almost 0 degrees Sagittarius as being the rising of the sleeping phoenix. And that's really interesting. So I do want to get one more for them. So before I cut the deck, we're seeing the Silbury Stargate, and it says, think outside the flock. So speak your truth and express yourself versus, you know, disconnecting themselves from the pack, the flock. Masculines, you know, this is not about following the crowd. This is about really like being able to separate yourself out, especially if you have a very unique perspective, you have unique beliefs. And I'm talking to the masculines who are watching this, but it's really not going along with the crowd. And that's why the lion is there for courage. And that's why this pathway starts at the root chakra. You know, it's like that primal, rooted, grounded energy, and then moves up to the sacral where there's a lot of healing around emotion, around feeling safe to express, feeling safe in their bodies, that kind of energy there with the lion, you know, wanting to roar. So I love this. We're getting lenticular dancing. With Dance Your Troubles Away, and there's a nod to like the lenticular clouds over the mountains, which we often see over certain mountain peaks, like especially Mount Shasta. I wonder if this is Shasta, you know, around Mount Shasta, which is the crown chakra of Gaia, of the earth. So we're sort of seeing a nod to the heart chakra of Mother Earth and the crown chakra of Mother Earth as being linked right now to the masculine energy. Dance your troubles away. And so I'm seeing this in two ways where it's like, you know, the movement is important because when you think of dance, you think of movement, that they're being asked to move the emotions, move their energy, move their bodies to not stay stuck. So it may be something inside of the masculines where they're feeling stuck, or they're just they are kind of like stuck in a pattern, or there are emotions or memories or wounding or traumas that are latent, that are just sitting there, but they're like affecting the masculine energy in some way. So it's creating the pathway for movement, for clearing of energy. And I'm going to look at this one, number 46. I do feel like this is Mount Shasta. So let's see. I'm sorry, I'm gonna use my lighter here. So that's 38. Okay, so the brief meaning is initiate the planets, imitate the planets. Interesting. Imitate the planets by dancing in repetitive circles. I'm thinking of the whirling dervish, right? Spin your problems away from you in an active meditation of ecstatic dancing. So this is a Sufi. And this is Mount Shasta. And Mount Shasta is interesting because it's actually two vortices at Mount Shasta. And one of them is feminine and the other is masculine. It's like Shasta and Shastita. It's like there is a masculine and a feminine. This is, you know, it's a very, very powerful area. I've been to Mount Shasta many times, and even before I moved to Sedona, I went to Shasta first, and I have lots of stories about that area. And also with Mount Shasta, it's linked to Telos, inner earth, from Lemuria over to Mount Shasta and even Hawaii. All of the ley lines connect, and then even across to Glastonbury, which we're seeing for the masculine. So it's interesting to me. It's like moving energy again, because they're just, not that they literally need to just spin in circles, but it could be where they feel as though the masculine energy has been maybe spinning in circles over. It's like, I feel that they have elevated, made lots of changes in their lives, but there's this one part that has been sort of stuck and not moving. And there's no judgment, because we're going to look at the feminine too, but it's where those pathways need to be created and the energy wants to move, even if it's like the Taurus field, you know, but here it's being shown as circular. So it is moving that energy for them. And that is going to help them. It says, dance your troubles away. So, you know, and it is around speaking their truth. But in order to speak your truth, you have to know it. You know, you actually have to know what that is on a deep level, because our truth is always changing and our beliefs are subjective for the level of consciousness that we have. So they are definitely creating pathways towards deeper expression. The masculine is being called to do that. And also Archangel Michael being with the masculines right now, because the Tour at Glastonbury is connected to the Michael ley lines. And all of this orange here is Archangel Metatron. So this would be like the Legion of Archangel Metatron that's coming in for the masculine on the orange ray. And that works with their Merkaba. We all have a Merkaba within us in our energy field. And that is where they're spinning. So it is that spinning energy, and it's they're spinning, I can't do it, but they're spinning in opposite directions to, you know, to heal and to accelerate the process. So I feel that's a message that they have a potentiality right now to accelerate their processes if they want to. And that was a number 46, which equals a 10, which is linked to the Wheel of Fortune. So again, this circular spinning and the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is that X, the 10, like this is a moment, X marks the spot for them. And what landed at the bottom was more of the orange angels, and you are not alone in the world. So that's big for the masculine energy. Again, having the angelics come in for them. And I don't know if you can see it, but this is actually a legion of angels behind her. So this was a story, the Salyut incident, or the Salyut 7, were Russian cosmonauts back in the 90s, 80s, 90s. You could correct me if I'm wrong. And they were Russian cosmonauts, and they saw apparitions in the heavens. Like they were outside of the Earth's atmosphere, and they saw orange emanations, orange light. All of them saw it too. And they were, you know, convinced that they were visited by beings, by angels. And I watched a movie about it, like a Russian Hollywood movie about it. I did. And of course they were like debunking it, and the movie took a different turn, but that happened. That was a thing. So the masculines have this, definitely have Archangel Metatron as a guide. He is the scribe of God. So he's holding their Akashic records for them. And I feel like they're really being asked to create those pathways again. Ellen of the Ways, she's showing them the way. They're being guided also by nature, first and foremost. The natural world, by the animal kingdom, is definitely guiding them here. So, and what would have come after Dancing Your Troubles Away is the return of Vlasta, Take a Stand. She was I feel like Czech. This is a Slavic energy. And they were sort of, she was like the last of the matriarchal queens before it turned to patriarchy. And they were like the original, sort of like Me Too movement, if you will. They were original feminists that were fighting for, you know, for women to still have a voice and for women to hold power. And eventually they were defeated, but you could say she's a shield maiden here, you know, but they're Slavic, not Nordic or Viking. So that's very interesting. Take a stand. It's like not, it's courage. With this lion here, speak your truth and express yourself with the chalice well. And I feel like it's beautiful because, you know, there is this energy of the feminine that's with the masculine right now, and is asking for them to be bold and to do some healing and move some of this stagnant energy out of their lives. So let's look at the tarot for this. Yeah, speaking of the feminine, and here's the Empress coming out for the masculines. I mean, it's so interesting. So I feel that if you're watching this for your masculine, I feel that, you know, the feminine energy is really on their hearts right now, on their minds and in their hearts right now. And because this is Venus and it's also Taurus, and the Ace of Pentacles, this is beautiful. Okay, so now we're seeing here Ace of Pentacles with the Eight of Swords and the King of Cups. So this is where, like I said, something stagnant, something stuck. They've almost built a fortress around themselves with their own limitations, or there's something that the masculines need to untie themselves from, to release from, to untie themselves from, because the hand of God is coming in here, and, you know, and is bringing this, whether it's healing, whether it's prosperity, whether it's, you know, prosperity, healing, like something solid. It's earth energy. So it's connected to the earth energy of the Taurus kind of Venus Empress, right? About expansion, growth, abundance, definitely around self-worth. And with the King of Cups, this is very scorpionic, right? So this is where, you know, it is a lot of that emotional realm. It is very, like, it's sacral chakra. This is fixed water. So this is where the waters, you know, can get kind of, it's the depths of the water. So it's really what is subconscious. And they're, you know, they have an opportunity right now to do a lot of healing, to really check in with their emotions, with how their heart works. What do they love? You know, what they really love, and to surpass these self-limiting beliefs and these Eight Swords. It's like, you know, it's and it's interesting too, because the land is sort of red. So I was talking about like being out on the red land today. But you can see the water just kind of trickling in, and it's where they can't see, they can't move. So where is the masculine energy feeling stuck, that, you know, that they can't take this beautiful ace that's coming in from the divine? And it's the heart, it's the emotions, it's wounding, it's memory, it's really going to the depths. And if you're masculine watching this and you've already done this, you know, then this is validation for you. But it's a process, and I feel it's like dredging up a lot. So I'm feeling this may be a rather emotional time for the masculines, and this may be a time for the masculine energy where they are presented with some opportunity, but maybe they don't feel worthy, or they don't feel like they can do it. It's like the 8 reasons why you can't with the 8 swords. It's also the 8s turned on its side forms the infinity. So it does go back to the past, and that's scorpionic, which is the past. We have a south node in Scorpio still until July, and it's been there for a year, opposing all of this Taurian energy. North node Taurus, that's the destiny point, about simple things, about, you know, building very slow and steady. It's beautiful, it's natural, it's feminine, it's soft, but it's powerful. It's gentle, but it's powerful. It's earthly, but it's cosmic, and it's the energy of the mother. So there may be some mother healing, and that's why I feel this, the angelics are with the masculine right now, and they're being asked to like move their bodies, move their energy, you know, all of that. So yeah, this is where the energy is trapped. It's like being trapped. But not all is lost here. Like there's potential for the whole suit of pentacles. There's so much potential. So let's see where we go with this. Oh, okay. And so underneath this card of You Are Not Alone in the Universe, we're getting Rascala with don't be a victim. Don't be the victim. And this story, another Czech story. And this was about a certain breed of water pixies, and actually Hans Christian Andersen based The Little Mermaid off of this mythology. So it's not being enchanted by things that are false. And that may be, you know, that's a thing for everybody, where we can be enchanted by things that aren't real. We can be enchanted by things that are false, and then we become a victim, and then we lose something, or we lose everything, or we don't get the opportunity. So it can be self-sabotaging. It's patterns, it's repetitive patterns that are, whether they're conditioned within us from generations. This is breaking generational curses. I don't even like the word curse, but, you know, past life stuff. So there, you know, don't be the victim is important. You're not alone in the universe. And this is like, it's taking action. So we can have all the potential in the world, but we have to take action towards that and do something with it. And the first card out for them that jumped was the Empress. And that's, you know, all of this Taurian energy, North Node Taurus, Mercury is still in Taurus as I'm filming this, Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter in Taurus for the next year. And actually, as I'm filming this week, we're going to have the North Node that's going to meet up with Jupiter in Taurus. And it's like, that's the destiny point, and Jupiter is going to expand everything. So if you don't feel worthy, and this is for everybody, if you don't feel worthy, then that's going to expand. If you don't know your worth and your value, then that's going to keep expanding. But if you're working on that healing, and you've been working on it since North Node came into Taurus, then you're expanding on those things, the good things. This is like things that are natural and wholesome and beautiful, and creating the pathways towards abundance, towards value, towards self-worth, and breaking these cycles and breaking these, maybe it's, they feel that they're cursed in some way, you know, and it's like, I don't know, I'm feeling like this is almost just the energy of, I do need, something needs to change. I want to change something. I'm ready to change something, but I'm scared, and I don't know how, and I don't know if I can do it, and I don't know if I'm capable of it. And that's why the line is there. And the chalice well wants to open for them. And that those are those sacred healing waters for the masculine. So it's like the King of Cups can get into that chalice well and rid himself of these patterns. So I hope, if you're a masculine, that this is helping you. And a lot of it may go back to mother energy, and it may not. Maybe your mother was beautiful, you know, and it's not about that, but it could be the conditioning of the world that you grew up in and how that's affected you as a masculine. And maybe for some of you, you're feminines, and you're watching this and it's resonating for you about your masculine. So let's get a twin flame ascension, take me home. Oh, what was at the bottom? Okay, so the Ace of Wands at the bottom, we have Mars and Leo until July, and Mars isn't going to go retrograde, and Mars is like in a pretty good place, but it also just opposed Pluto in Aquarius, and also squaring the moon's nodes. So here's the moon's nodes. Here's Taurus and Scorpio, North Node, South Node. So it's like so easy to go back into old patterns, old habits, old energies, our victimhood. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Toxic energy. Scorpio can be the swamp, right? So it can be very toxic. And no diss to Scorpios. We're just kind of talking about the energies. But it's also what's been occulted, what has been hidden, and allowing those things to come up so that like we can deal with it and face it. And because he has a mastery over the whole suit of cups. So a King of Cups, like, love a King of Cups. This is going to be a man who is strong. He's the strong silent type. He's the healer. and he is the empath. So the masculine energy here is deeply empathic, deeply sensitive. This is a sensitive man, and that's why he's divine. So this is a sensitive man that maybe has sort of had to, for whatever reasons, to disconnect from that because some things have been too painful for him. And so this is beautiful energy. He's the healer and he's loyal. Can be a bit secretive too, has some secrets, right? So that's why he's being asked to express the truth, because this is a man, he doesn't just become, the King of Cups doesn't just become a healer and an empath because he's gone through the whole suit of cups and has attained a mastery over that. So this is, the eights are about self-mastery. This is really what the masculines are mastering right now, to where they're going to really be able to, you know, show up like they're being asked to do that because this world needs them. This world needs the King of Cups. This world needs the King of Cups to understand himself and how he expresses that to other people. You know, the Cups energy can speak to, you know, substances like alcohol, drugs, whatever, over consuming of things, being so overwhelmed by the depths of who they are that they have to numb that. So to numb the pain, to, you know, and that's kind of then where the trap is. So I feel even for some of the masculines, it's like, you know, maybe they are quote unquote just dancing the troubles away because there's something that's so painful for them that they don't want to look at. And at the bottom of the deck, we have that Ace of Wands where it's like Mars and Leo. Mars is the masculine planet of that reignition of a fire within them. And how this, again, more pure potential, pure fire, pure spirit, that masculine principle that is so invigorating and passionate and creative and inspired. And this is the leadership quality for the masculine, water and fire, the alchemy of the water and fire together. So what are they going to do with this? Because this is what's at the bottom. And with that, you know, is the shame, the regret, the anxiety, the worry. I'm just feeling that, you know, from this. And then under that was the Ten of Pentacles. And then under that was strength. And then underneath that is the Nine of Wands with the wounded warrior. So I also feel that this is a message about, you know, the long-term stuff, community stability. These are the things that, you know, I think masculines do think about. They've been conditioned to think about these things, obviously. But also it's a part of the masculine archetype to think about foundations, how they can build society. This is like, you know, because you almost see the emperor there and you see the other people and the dogs showing like loyalty and things like that, commitment to creating the pathways for long-term stuff. And I feel they're really wrestling and battling. This is that 8 energy, like I was saying, you know, battling or having to have strength and fortitude and courage to tame the inner beast, really to tame the inner beast. And it's the feminine that's taming the lion there. So it's almost like a nod, you know, to the Empress there, but she has the 8, right? Like the Magician has that. So this is a lot of solar energy with all of this yellow. And it's really, I'm sorry, I'm going to put out this, God, it's so smoky in here. Sorry about that. I may be like surrounded in smoke right now, but the messages are powerful where it's like, you know, it's tempering that fire. It's like, what do you do with this? How do you use this principle? How do you use this fire principle? It's very phallic, right? How do you use it? Is it more for lust and desire and just that scorpionic energy of like, but I want this, I want it, like it's my desire. It's like, oh, I want that. Or is it like used more productively? And is it tamed? Is it tamed? Because there's nothing wrong with this inner beast. We all have it. It's primal, you know? And, but you know, but it's the balance. It's really the balance. So it's a very interesting bottom of the deck, because I do feel that the masculines, you know, might be in a place of like really being worried about things, or, you know, really thinking about, I don't know, like, what does the future look like, or what does the stability look like? Where are the long-term relationships? Because if we're talking about union, this would be where there's a long-term established relationship to the beloved, to another, and it's not there. And again, it goes back to overcoming the wounding and creating safety within themselves and healthy boundaries from within themselves, and but facing it, because this takes strength right here. The Nine of Wands is about strength, and under that, that's where the Emperor is. So it's like, it's right there, the king of all kings, you know, that Aries energy, fire, but it's where he understands the feminine. So he understands the feminine, the Empress and the Emperor. The reason why he's so fabulous, you know, he understands what the union of masculine and feminine is. And that it's so interesting, because I was just watching R.C. Blake's. He's a Christian pastor, believe it or not. And I, you know, I watch different things at different times. But he created this, he did a video, and I was watching, I didn't finish it all, but he was talking about like signs that a man is safe, okay? And one of the things he kept repeating was like, when a man loves something, whatever it is, when he's truly interested in something, when he loves something, he learns it. So he learns it inside and out. Ask a man what he's passionate about, and he will tell you everything about it. Everything about it, because he loves it, so he learns it. So when a man loves you, he learns you. He learns everything he can about you. He listens, he learns, and then he even intuits, because that's also the Emperor, because he's not, you know, he's the king of all kings. He rules over the kingdom. He creates stability and safety for everyone. He creates abundance for everyone, but he has the secret keys to the universe here. You know, he does. And so I just thought that was interesting. Like, I didn't coin this phrase, but when a man loves you, he learns you, so that you don't have to keep repeating yourself over and over as a feminine. Like, this is what I value. This is what is important to me. This is, you know, and this is where I don't feel safe. And this is where I'm triggered. And this is, you know, so when a man loves you, he learns you. When a man loves something, he learns it. He learns it inside and out. And again, the first card was the Ace of Wands. So this is where I feel there's desire. There is desire there. So how are the masculines going to be using this desire is a big, big question right now. So anyway, I've got so many cards here, and I'm just going to leave all of these out. There may be some things that they need to leave behind and walk away from, you know, and it's hard to let go. This is a difficult energy. Eight of Cups was underneath the Emperor. So, you know, what's stealing their power away from them? Where are they not in their power? There may be some things that, you know, have to be let go of. We're seeing these eights repeating, and that is self-mastery. So let's look at the Twin Flame Ascension Take Me Home deck and see where the masculines are at in their path, because I definitely know where like the blockages are and where the opportunity is for sure. You know, it's really clear here. And the bottom of the deck also being very telling. So I'm just going to lay these out in a fashion where it's easy for me to see it. So, all right, let's look at the masculine energy. Where are they currently at on their path? So before I cut the deck, we're getting the Merkaba activation at the bottom. Ground, shield, protect. Yes, and that's what I was talking about. Like Archangel Metatron is definitely helping to guide the masculines right now, bringing them the Merkaba, bringing them the tools that they need for ascension and for healing, really. And then the new bottom of the deck is Sacred Sexuality, accessing the unified field, and it's a 9/9. So this is the completion. There is a cycle that wants to complete. That's why we're seeing all the eights, because it feels like they are stuck in some kind of a loop. Or if you're masculine, it's like you've done so much work. You have done so much work because you've gotten really to the eights. And it's time, you know, the available energy is to get to the 9. Sacred sexuality being a big thing for the masculines right now, especially with this energy of the Ace of Wands being at the bottom of the deck, where there is a magnetism, I feel, about the masculines right now. Mars is in Leo, so this is really activating the masculine energy for the collective. And within, you know, with the King of Cups, it's like the masculines may not be, I don't know, it's like that strong silent type. And it's like looking at them, you can tell that they're feeling something. You can tell that there's something deep that's happening there. So I feel the masculines may be, whether it's like, because here's the bottom, interesting, the bottom and the bottom, you know, I mean, Ace of Wands, sacred sexuality. So this is a theme right now for them, an underlying energy that's very important. So for the masculines, we're getting, yes, clearing karma. What did I say? Kundalini activation. Clearing the karma with the Kundalini activation right there. I felt it. That's the pathway. That's what this bird represented to me. It was the sleeping phoenix, but it's descending upon them and it's activating the DNA, the double helix. And here it is right here. The masculine energy has to clear some karma right now. But it's that rebirth and the rising from the ashes. Look at how fiery. I was talking about the root chakra and the sacral, and then it's going to bring it up to the solar plexus, which then it's like this beautiful, healthy ego emerges, this beautiful natural confidence, you know, for the masculines right there. It's a natural confidence. It's a natural leadership. It doesn't have a lot of vibrato, you know, but it's powerful and strong. And it's purified. So the fire, the phoenix, it's purifying. It's from Scorpio to Sag. And actually, we have a Sagittarius full moon on June 3rd. So it is, the Luna is in Libra as I'm filming this. She just moved into Libra. Later this week, she'll be in Scorpio, Scorpionic energy, King of Cups, and then is going to become full in Sagittarius. So when Luna moves from Scorpio to Sag, the moon at 0 degrees of Sag, a lot of the masculines have an opportunity for a Kundalini activation. And this can be a painful thing. Like it can manifest physically. And I'm looking at the timestamp. We're not going to have time for the feminine. So we're going to do a part 2. How about that? All right. Yes. Heal abandonment. Time to forgive. And this is a 7-7. So we're getting a progression from 6-6 to 7-7. Healing abandonment. I was talking about that. Like the South Node is where we can go back to feel comfort. It's the tail of the dragon. It's Ketu, Rahu, North Node, Ketu, South Node. The South Node can be a place where we go back for comfort. We go back to the darkness for comfort. We go back to forgetting. We can repress things deep, 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 deep down and occult it, keep it hidden. So the North Node, Taurus, is where right now, this is North Node, South Node, is where, you know, it is the simple path, but it requires work. And it does require exposing things to love and a heal abandonment. So maybe for some of them, you know, it is a mother wound, but it's also maybe where the masculines have felt abandoned by a society that doesn't understand them, abandoned by a system that expects them to be something that they're not, abandoned by whatever. And the masculine here is like in a state of surrender. Do you see that? He's in a state of surrender. So I want to look at what the 7-7 is. So the numbers have meaning here. and I'll look at the 9-9. So 9-9 is them is 6-6, aligning with their inner masculine. So to clearing this karma, and the Kundalini activation is aligning them with their true divine masculine self. So this is, you know, that powerful masculine energy. That's the strong leader that has that beautiful, everything I was talking about through the solar plexus, right? And then the 7-7 is alignment with their highest path. So this healing abandonment and time to forgive for the masculine could be forgiving themselves, where they've abandoned themselves, where you've given up on your path because, if you're masculine, where you've given up on the path because it got too hard, or you didn't have the support, you weren't understood. Maybe you just weren't understood, or there were just blockages on your path. This is where I think those things are being cleared for you. The pathway is being laid out in front of the masculines. It's being cleared. So that's why we have 2 aces for the pure potential. The Ace of Earth, or the Ace of Pentacles, is the manifestation of the earth energy, of the path, you know, in this physical realm, Emperor and Empress, right? And union with your beloved, or union with yourself, or both. And then the Ace of Wands being that opportunity for the spiritual abundance, the spiritual connection, creative solutions to your own problems in your life, the spark of creativity, the passion, the drive, the confidence. So healing the abandonment, time to forgive, create the pathways. Ellen of the Ways, our first card out for the masculine there. This is beautiful. I mean, it's so beautiful. And then we're getting a 1-1 with clearing energy blocks, and it says activating the higher chakras. So, you know, we're talking about the lower chakras and then the Kundalini. So it's going to activate the higher chakras. And at the bottom of the deck is the feminine with the High Priestess. So yes, this is a big healing journey that the masculines have the opportunity to work with. Even for the feminines, like if you want to read into this as a feminine about your own inner masculine, so maybe this is your father wounding, or as a feminine, this is your mother wounding, and this is what's available to you too. So we're seeing the higher chakras being activated, and at the bottom is the feminine with the High Priestess expanding consciousness. This is amazing. And that's a 1-1. Balance between your inner masculine and feminine energies, aligning with the divine masculine right here. And then the 7-7, aligning with the higher path. And the 10-10 is where we align with source energy. So at the bottom, it's like the masculines can really turn on their psychic gifts. Abilities, not gifts, because a gift infers that someone has to give it to you. Yes, this is from source creator, but nobody is giving this to you. You came in with this divine blueprint. And so this is aligning you with source energy and with your psychic abilities, and the knowledge and the discernment, because the High Priestess brings us discernment. When we were seeing this wounded warrior, the 9 of Wands, about, you know, fortitude and strength, but it's like also to have boundaries and to, you know, to be discerning about who is in your energy field, what is in your energy field. There's definitely like a purification that wants to happen, some kind of purification for the masculines. So yeah. And again, with the sacred sexuality. So I feel like it's also talking about like the body being a temple, and to treat it as such, and to treat it as such. So let's look at the masculine toward the feminine, because I know you're going to want to know that. This is sort of just an energy update for the masculines right now, and we'll do a part 2 this week. So just maybe tomorrow, the next day, I'm going to do a reading for the feminines. But let's look at the masculine towards their feminines right now. They have the opportunity. I also feel like the feminine is holding space. So that reading that I did out on the Red Rocks today was about the feminine energy holding space, because it kind of looks like this. So it's like, here's the feminine holding space, but also knowing her worth and like, you know, knowing what she's worth. So, you know, wanting that counterpart of the emperor, you know, wanting it to be equal, equanimity, and to have all of this growth and abundance and potentiality inside of the physical world here, is important for the feminine. But let's ask, how is the masculine viewing the feminine, feeling for the feminine? What are their thoughts, behaviors, attitudes? We'll get a few cards. So before I cut the deck, we're seeing, wow, interesting. It is almost like a DNA, but it's also like a lemniscate, but it's this way. So sexual freedom. So I feel the masculines really think about making love to the feminines and allowing themselves to really do that with you. The two doves coming together, the lotus flower, the two butterflies, like they really want to have, I feel it's like a sexual exploration with you, like deep, but it's deep. It's not lustful, but it has passion and fire. So they want to do things with you. Okay, that's definitely what I'm seeing. Wow. They see you as the most sacred here, the sacred feminine. So, or the sacred woman. So we have divine feminine is a card in this deck. It's more than that. It's sacred. So the masculine is seeing the feminine also as maybe a bridge builder. This is White Buffalo Spirit. And what I love about her, you know, if you know about White Buffalo Woman, because she's wearing traditional indigenous American attire. Has on her ceremonial garb. She sees all life is sacred. She's not separate from it. She knows the old ways. She's a healer. She's a shamanka. She's a leader. But she's also, you can see where the cross is there too. So I feel, and White Buffalo talks about making peace. So he sees you as his peace. He sees you as someone right now who has been able to integrate a lot of your adversity, because this woman went through adversity, right? It's a nod to that because she has the cross on her. So she's keeping the old ways and she's keeping the peace, you know, by integrating maybe some of the, you know, the new ways here. It's interesting. She's in her power though. She's not giving up her power and she leads with love. So the hand that's the left hand connected to the heart is the heart chakra. So he just sees you as so sacred, so important, and strong, really strong. And let's see what else. Abundant. He sees you as abundant. You have spiritual abilities. You have spiritual abundance. You've done something with yourself. This is the masculine seeing the feminine. Maybe even where you, when your energies come together, that you are able to create a lot together. This is like a crystal cave. There's an angel here, and the angel is pouring out like energy and golden light that's filled with prosperity. So it's even something about, you know, that I don't know, that you've been able to create something in your life by really being on your path. Okay. And one more, inner peace. So I love this because this is more of the modern woman, right? You know, she's got her little water bottle and her sandwich, and she's writing in her journal, and she's got like a vision board behind her. So this is more of the modern woman. So he sees you as like someone very capable. I think he really admires you. He sees you as being very sacred, very beautiful, accomplished, and knowledgeable. You are enough. This is what this is saying. So I feel he's seen that you've done the work on yourself. Bottom of the deck is serendipity. So maybe it's even like he admires your path, you know, because here she's on the boat, right? And there's this giant boulder. And so she has no idea what's around the corner, but she keeps going. And she's going to turn this corner, and then all of a sudden there's going to be all these blessings waiting for her. So he's seeing that you're still on the journey. Maybe he's also feeling a bit protective over you. He wants the best for you. He wants you to stay on the path, and maybe doesn't want you to get off the path because of him. He sees that you've had to do the inner reflection and work on your own worthiness. What came after that inner peace? Connection. I knew we needed that one last card. So yeah, he definitely dreams about, you know, the quality time with you. Here they are. He's writing love notes. There's music. There's this beautiful, you know, tropical, exotic place that you could go away together. This could be a honeymoon or something like that. So he does think about you in such a positive light for the feminines. And if you're a masculine and I don't know, there is no feminine in sight, then maybe this is what you're looking for. You know, you want a woman who embodies some of these qualities. You know what I mean? So, all right. So masculines, as promised, I'm going to get you a white light oracle for healing. And again, you might be a feminine watching this, and this is for you too. And then we'll do part 2 in a couple of days. So please show me where the divine masculine can benefit from healing the most right now. Highest and best message. Before I cut the deck, we're getting the spirit owl. So that's that high priestess energy, you know, and it's discernment and really, really going within and looking inward, not looking out to other people, looking inward, not, okay. Oh, anapausis. And this is definitely a healing energy here. I don't think there's any solfeggio frequency associated with it. And then we're getting aurora of gamma. Okay, so hands-on healing for the masculine right here. I'm going to read this, so if you want to stick around, and this can resonate for the feminines as well. So, okay, do not give up. So this says, do not give up. Allow your heart to disengage from your struggles. Give yourself much needed rest. You are in a phase of recovery. If you have been off your path, you are going to come back strong. That's why Ellen of the Ways says create the pathways. If you've been off your path, you're in a place of recovery and you're going to come back strong. You will regain your spark of passion, inspiration, and devotion. A certain order of events needs to take place for your soul path to come to fruition. Commit yourself to your sacred journey, trusting that the right thing will happen at the right time. So the Latin word anapausis refers to the cessation of work so one can regain strength, renew vitality, and heighten creative productivity. So the masculine, you can go into like a healing phase right now, as much as you can. And this can even be, you know, if you're distracting yourself with other things, whatever those things are, this is to turn inward and allow this. It's a rest for success. The Oracle of Anapausis advises physical, emotional, and psychological rest to reset yourself. That may mean switching off without fear or guilt. It is likely to mean giving up worries and the constant replay of anxiety-ridden speculations. Find some spaciousness and pleasure within and around yourself so you may experience healing and renewal. If you have been considering working with a healer, this is confirmation to pursue such a path. The Oracle also recommends finding spiritual rest even if you are still working hard. Spiritual rest happens when we take sanctuary in the sacred. We give up trying to become something or other and instead tend fully to the task at hand, completely engaged in the moment. When we do so, we are trusting that the universe knows what it is doing and that we are part of a greater unfolding plan. In modern culture, we can aspire to become someone visible, someone intellectual, someone influential, someone powerful, someone important. Yet no matter how much worldly or even spiritual power a person may appear to have, the idea that one person is more important than another belongs to the realm of ego. Spirit loves and respects all beings equally, and loves you too. What our world needs are more people who are spiritually connected to their hearts. As you become such a being, others will seek you out. You don't need to set yourself up as being anything at all. You can enjoy the relief of giving up any obsession with appearances or external validation. Instead, dive deep into the nourishing inner realm of your own soul, with trust in all that is and all that shall be, free from distracting and disempowering pursuits. You may connect, rest, and restore yourself with a real sense of your spiritual beauty, value, and presence. In the space of restful immersion, you realize that you are enough. Anapausis brings special guidance for those who have been going through deeply challenging struggles of mind, body, and soul. Perhaps you feel exhausted, confused, and afraid. Even if you are still going strong in the outer world, you have a need for spiritual convalescence. You are encouraged to allow yourself adequate rest and to engage in activities geared towards healing. This oracle recognizes that there is something you have been working hard to bring into being. With a little more trust in your spiritual connection, you'll find the way easier and more joyful. You don't need to push yourself so hard. Spirit can sustain you through your devotion and commitment so that every effort you make is more than matched by the inflow of spiritual grace. Don't allow your mind or the deranged ways of this world to create weariness and yet another drama. Take rest in the spiritual light of love, rest from fear, rest from anxiety. That's a big one. Rest from needing to work it all out right now. Even on your most confusing or most productive days, you can find renewal in spirit. It is always available to you, even right now. So those were the messages. I didn't even use the Hermetic Tarot. At the bottom, we see it's almost like a nod to Sophia. It's another feminine energy. It's white light. It's healing. Number 22 and number 4. So the 4 obviously goes back to the Emperor. So that's a big message for you masculines. It really is. And for your masculine too. And if you're feminine, you may have totally resonated with all of these messages, and and that's just the magic of Oracle and Tarot. So I'm sending you lots of love and light. I'll see you very, very soon for part 2. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out if you'd like to inquire about a personal session. I am starting on your June readings. I know they're like a little bit late, but I feel like it's like nice to have them at the very beginning of the month. So I'm going to be working on those this week for you, your June readings. And yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for all of your love and support. This video went really long, but these videos usually do. So I will see you all soon. Take good care. Namaste.